In the deep, mean streets of Wanganui lives the biggest and baddest podcast.
Reverence Podcast with Jesse and James.
We have an international guest. We are greeted today with podcasting royalty. He is host of the Bible Study Podcast and the award-winning Amateur Traveler Podcast. 20 years of podcasting, over 2,000 episodes, and one great man of God. A guy so great they named him twice. Please welcome to the show, the one and only, Chris Christensen.
Welcome to the Reverence Podcast. This is my radio voice.
And this is my mystical voice.
You're listening to the Reverence Podcast, and it is hosted by Jesse and James, to which I'm James, and this is Jesse over here, across the room. And we're talking to Chris Christensen, who is also a host, but of other shows.
Yes, shows you should tune in.
The Amateur Traveler Podcast and the Bible Study Podcast.
Save them to your favorites.
He's won awards, so you know he's good. And he's talking to us now. Hopefully we win some awards one day. You never know.
If it's not here, it's up there.
Yeah. Receive awards in heaven.
Up in air.
Hopefully they have Spotify and other streaming platforms up there too. Then we can keep doing more podcasting. Anyway, we're on Earth now, and we're talking to Chris now. We'll stick around to listen to him chat to us.
Got it.
You are listening to the Reverence Podcast with Jesse and James.
Yeah, so I essentially made it through maybe 200 or so of your... I did the first 100 at 1.8 speed.
Sure. Yeah.
As well as your most recent 100. And I was joking to James last night. I was like, well, I fell asleep listening to the Bible Study Podcast. I might as well wake up and brush my teeth to it. No.
Yeah.
No.
I've had people with, not even so much with that one, but with the travel show, I have people who like give me a really nice review and say, I really love your show. I listen to it while I go to sleep at night. It's like, thanks.
It's a bit,
your voice is very soothing. It's like, okay, I put you to sleep. All right.
So, I was trying to be as prepared as possible for this discussion too.
That's impressive.
It has blessed me a lot, and I guess
I want to say that's impressive, and I'm sorry is the other thing that I think of.
No. I've taken so much out of it. I actually really enjoyed the pre-testament tools.
Oh, the intertestamental period?
Into Testament, yeah, because I didn't actually know a lot about. I knew there were these books of Maccabees, but I'd never looked into it. So I did love to kind of grasp a bit of that history a bit. Mm-hmm. So that was quite cool. But yeah, I guess one question before we jump into the next part of the Bible Study Podcast, will backtrack. So you visited New Zealand, from what I heard on some of your...
I did. Twice.
Your travel podcast episodes. So I did get a bit of a queue stacked up on ones that might interest me. So I heard a few of those. But I guess my question is, what were your highlights in visiting New Zealand, and are you planning to come back at any stage?
I would love to come back. We'll do that one first. I was there the first time because I was on my way to Australia to see an uncle who moved to Australia. And we went to see him while he was still living, we now know. So I was glad I did that trip. And we stopped at that time just in Christchurch before the earthquake. That was interesting to be there. But that was kind of all I saw of New Zealand then. And then I had an opportunity in 2014, I think it was, New Zealand Airlines offered to fly me over so that I could talk about New Zealand. And then spaceships. Do you guys know the orange minivan, camper van?
Yes. Yeah.
Sorry, what's the New Zealand term for that?
We'd call that a camper van or a
camper van. There's another term too that I'm drawing blank. Yeah, we would call it an RV, but it was a small minivan turned into a camper van, and they loaned me one for 2 weeks to tool around New Zealand, and I was there in your winter. So I stayed in the North Island, but I had a chance to go all over the North Island, and probably the most memorable things would be the Coromandel Peninsula and the Blackwater rafting in Waitomo.
Awesome.
So getting in the wetsuit and with the inner tube and doing the underground river was probably the most amazing thing.
Oh, that's cool. Did you end up making it to Wanganui?
No, I looked at the map and I think so. I went all the way down to Wellington, but I came back up, as I recall, Highway 1. So I think I would have gone to Whakapapa instead on the way back to New Zealand, on the way back to Auckland to fly out.
You may have found on your map too that there was a cross on Wanganui, and then you might have heard this audible voice say, "Simba, you must never go there." No.
I don't recall that. I do not recall.
No.
Rotorua was also obviously very, very fun, for obvious reasons there too.
You might have to come here next time.
I also remember being in, am I going to come up with Hobbiton starts with M. I'm drawing a blank on the city name. They were just getting ready for the filming of the Hobbit movies, or the second round of the Hobbit movies. And so they were just redecorating that. So I was taking pictures and I was not allowed to share them on the internet for a year until the movie came out. So that was kind of fun too.
Yeah. So I get, that's awesome. I think I'm just being wary of time too. So I'll open us up into our next set of questions. So you've been waiting for this joke. And so the wise words I heard was, did you know that God was left-handed? Because Jesus is sitting on his right hand.
His right hand, yes. Yeah. Yep, I've definitely told that joke.
And I'll hand it over to James.
Winter cars mentioned in the Bible.
Mm-hmm.
The early churches all in one accord.
I was mentioning that one the other day.
And winter motorcycles mentioned in the Bible. The news of Joshua's triumph was heard throughout the land. And the three shortest men in the Bible, Nehemiah, Bildad the Shuhite, and the Roman soldier who fell asleep on his watch.
Oh, that's good. I haven't heard that one.
As I say, I did grow up in the church, so I grew up with some, bad Bible puns.
Oh, well, puns are very much welcome in our show. We've made a few bad jokes ourselves in our podcast over the past few episodes. I guess in terms of, we've got the Bible study podcast questions now. Mm-hmm. I guess, what inspired you to start the Bible study podcast alongside your travel work?
Well, so when I actually was looking at starting podcasting, I started podcasting. We didn't mention so podcasting itself started in September of Matamata was the city that I was trying to think of, by the way. So the podcasting started in September of 2004, and I started listening probably around December of 2004 because a show that I was watching, a computer show on Tech TV Canada, got canceled, and they said, we're going to do a podcast. And that was my what is a podcast moment, was in 2004. So I started listening fairly early on to podcasts, right? A couple months in. And then I've got to do my own podcast. And I wasn't sure what I wanted to do. I thought about doing a tech podcast because I am, by vocation, I worked for 43 years in high tech, most of that time doing web development. And so I thought about doing that. But somebody I didn't know, who's now a friend, Adam Christensen, not spelled the same, a brother from another mother, had already started the Mac Cast, and I'm a Mac guy, so it's like, oh, you don't need two Mac shows, which is ridiculous. That now they're any particular topic has many, many different shows. And then I thought about doing a religious show at that time, but I ended up starting the Amateur Traveler because we had a bunch of friends over for a Memorial Day picnic. That's a picnic for us. It's kind of the kickoff of the summer in the end of May. And all the best stories were travel stories. And so I started Amateur Traveler, but that idea of I could talk about, faith-based things stuck around. And about a year later, I decided that I could do 2 podcasts. And started the Bible Study Podcast. And that one hasn't really changed format since I started it, where Amateur Traveler did. Amateur Traveler was originally going to be about my travel stories, which was a really stupid idea because I was traveling for 4 weeks a year and podcasting 48 weeks a year, and that math doesn't work. So that became an interview show fairly quickly. But Bible Study Podcast, is the one that I can just go into the office, open up the Bible, turn on the microphone and record and get done no matter, where I am. It's easier for me to do that show. So.
Well, I don't know who let the dogs out, but I do know that you're listening to the Reverence podcast with Jesse and James.
Oh!
Here's the last episode with Chris Christensen.
Whistle me timbers. It's Whistly Pete.
Whistly Pete is no longer a co-host in this show. Or he never was, but yeah.
Sorry guys, it's James and Jesse here at Reverence the Podcast. Hope you enjoyed this episode and enjoyed what Chris Christensen had to offer, and keep in touch with us. You can contact us at reverencethepodcast@outlook.com. That's our email, or at reverencethepodcast on Facebook. Yeah,
you can contact Chris as well. He's pretty chill. Yeah. You can email him. Go on his podcast and you'll find all his details there. So he's got the Amateur Travelers podcast and the Bible Study podcast. You can go check those out. Pretty good. He's done quite a few episodes, more than us, by a country mile.
We could probably add him in the show notes, couldn't we?
Oh yeah, we'll chuck them in. I think we'll put them on the show notes in every episode now. So
alright,
go check that out, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.